mercy, I'll be loving you. Yes, I will, baby. I'm still ticking and busy anytime. Nothing you can do to ever change my mind. Let this world come and let it cease away. See, I'll be loving you. Of your way, I can make it through 1,000 tomorrows. You were here today. Let the times clash on this land of ours. All I move, earth to Mars. It won't matter. I know who you are. I'll be loving you. Oh, oh, oh. The sun comes up and there's air to breathe, but still nothing Lord has a beat. Resolution, baby. The stars, I'll be loving you. Oh, I'm still drinking if there's any time at all. You can do to ever change my mind. So let the world come and let it cease away. I'll be loving you. The sun comes up and there's air to breathe, but still nothing Lord has to be. The moon comes out to come and meet the stars, I'll be loving you. You were saying if the clock's still ticking, if there's any time, nothing you can do to ever change my mind. So let the world come and let it cease away. I'll be loving you. I'll be loving you. Yeah, I'll be loving you. I'll be loving you.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports contests and events with first-to-market odds and lines. What's up, y'all? It's your man, Lloyd Spence. And listen, all you got to do is find your reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf, all at betonline.ag. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. So, head to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, B-L-E-A-V 50, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. It's BetOnline, it's where the game starts. Tell them the Noisemakers sent you.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Yeah. Popcorn World. Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this groove in the back of a can. If you make it Robin World, man, the holes in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. NOIZ, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother NOIZ, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle NOIZ, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most pressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
Two, one, ready, come on.
Good time!
What's going on, good people of Noise Media and beyond? We are in the building, ready to talk a spot of noise.
What's happening, Noise family? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
What's happening? What's happening?
I think Mr. Noise is doing something. Something has popped up where he's located. Okay. You doing all right, Al?
I'm doing better, darling. Thanks for asking.
Is that I feel better?
So much better.
Right. See, this ain't Jay ain't on here to try to reach and tell me that I wasn't here. I wasn't in the kingdom at that time.
Yeah, you as he would say, you don't know nothing about that.
What you don't know about? What you don't know about, Al?
I feel better.
Come on, preacher. So much better.
Well, I ain't gonna say. I ain't gonna let so much part. I ain't gonna let so much.
Yeah, we you see, you feel better. Not so much, but you feel better.
Right.
Okay, all right. We'll take better.
I said, so Jay ain't on here to be trying to tell me I wasn't in the kingdom at that time.
But you know that one though, Mama Noah. That's since I laid my burdens down.
Well, but I mean, my birth certificate is according to Jay, still has wet paint. So
well, I mean, it's
But see, that's one of those been here, don't stay here devotional.
Yeah. You good on that one.
I mean,
even when you
even the praise teams ain't gonna wash that one out of our memory.
Right. Even when you wasn't like super saved, you knew that one, didn't you? You stumbled in the church, you knew that one.
I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah, that's a classic. That's one of the classics.
Is it one that was in one of them old hymns?
No, it wasn't no hymn.
Okay, well then it might not have been one I stumbled into.
It was one of them devotionals.
That's from back in the day when we couldn't read. Wasn't no hymn.
Yeah. Everybody just knew that one. We all just knew that one. That's the equivalent of I love the Lord. He heard my cry. Everybody go, ah. We didn't nobody teach that to us. We just knew it.
What?
Love
the Lord.
That's how I go.
He heard my cry.
Is that a Negro spiritual?
Somewhat. I mean, it's got Negro spiritual tendencies.
It sounds like y'all was about to say, swing low, drinking gourd and all that.
That's one.
Now listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I go to a Baptist church in the South right now and tear that whole place up doing that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm serious. Them old saints would jump out their wheelchairs there in that one. They'd be like, "Oh, glory! Somebody remembered." But the same to Al's point, not one member on the praise team could follow me if I did that song. They think I lost my mind. Look, Jay, coming in out already.
It's true.
Yeah, that's those classics.
Praise team members wouldn't know you.
They wouldn't have a clue what I was doing. They think I lost my mind. They're like, why is he singing like that?
With like it's not up on the PowerPoint.
It ain't on the PowerPoint. Hey,
listen, we didn't rehearse that one.
Right. Yeah. When I first started being a praise team, when I knew our church wanted to do praise team, I would bridge the gap a lot of times. I would sing the modern stuff, but then every now and then I'd break out in some of the old stuff just to keep them honest and to keep the transition smooth.
Yeah, every now and then when you hit them with the blood still works.
Yeah. You got to
hit them with a little bit of the blood that Jesus.
Yeah.
For me.
Come on, preacher.
Wait a minute. Now, don't go back too far.
That ain't far. That's him. It reaches
to the highest mountain.
And you got to put the bravado in there. That's one of them songs that you got to have the bravado. Mountain and then Low. You gotta put all that in there. You don't have no vibrato in it. You ain't really. You might not really be all the way.
What's the bravado?
My natural tone. I can't sing without bravado. It's that.
Yeah,
that's bravado.
Yeah, it also comes with wind control as well.
Right.
Oh well.
It sounds like you're trying to start your car. The blood.
Is that one of the songs where the person that always has their bottom of their mouth, you know, like like they really
put that in there.
That's excessive. I'm just saying.
You say it's excessive. But what's the difference? I mean, it's either that or 5,000 rolls. Like,
well, the difference is that you always have such a hard time with people that do extra runs in there.
I don't like it.
What?
I'm not here for it.
That's what I'm talking about. If you and it's just your bottom lip is shaking like a ventriloquist.
Well, I can tolerate a little of that, but just that's why I don't want too much of anything. I want you to sing the song, sing it with passion, sing it with intensity, but I don't want you to run it to death, and I certainly don't want you to vibrato it to death. What up, C Major? Just a real quick update. Unc is doing better. He ain't out the woods, but he's doing better. He continues to improve.
So is he better like Al?
He's moving in the right direction. How about that?
Okay.
Unc is moving in the right direction. What up, Dion? Who else? Oh, and as I was told also that John Gray is moving in the right direction.
Oh, well, hallelujah.
Yeah, he's not. I don't think he's completely out the woodworks.
So he's still in the hospital.
Well, I don't think he's in the hospital. He may be at home resting.
At home?
Possibly. I don't know. I don't. They're being real vague about the information, which is fine. They don't owe us anything.
True.
But I think he is out of the original hospital bed that he was in. And he is
so he's out of that critical care.
Well, I say that either. I'm not gonna. They're being vague about.
If he's at home, I assure you he's not in critical care.
Yeah, if he's at home. Yeah, if he's at home, for sure he's out of critical care. My guess
would be, if at best he's at a rehab facility, being closely monitored.
I was gonna say he got to be still monitored.
But that's just my guess. I haven't heard anything. So
no. I think you are spot on, Al B. I cannot imagine that because I don't think he's completely out of the woodworks. Is what I guess.
Yeah, because you're in heightened circumstances with a single clot that could become mobile. So I can only imagine him with multiple.
Right.
Blood clots.
Right.
I'm just saying. That's why I was like, wait a minute. I mean, he's made an improvement, but I'm just saying, I agree with Al. I think he's in some type of facility still.
I would think.
Yeah, I would have to believe that he's still kind of going through the process. That's again, I appreciate the high level of faith that it appears his wife has, because I think she went to church Sunday, and so I would imagine her faith levels are extremely high, but at the same time there is a realness tied to this that I think sometimes we don't like to kind of address, but he is really going through the process, and I think that's probably what's going on. So okay. So I just want to give those quick updates real quick. This is in case you missed the Monday, in case you guys were wondering why all this information and news. That's because it's in case you missed the Monday. And before I get to some of the more intense and fun and interesting stories that we have, I do want to give a sad note of news. You know what? I apologize. Before I get to even sad news, let me just update y'all on White Organist. White Organist has COVID. You got the Coco 19.
Oh, everybody getting the Coco 19.
Man, folks is getting that Cocoa 19, bro. Like the numbers is going up. So
I don't know if y'all heard, but we back in the red.
you're in the red?
Yeah, Jefferson County went back to Jefferson County Public Schools went back to mandatory masks starting today.
Y'all in the red?
Yes,
the
we are
red?
in the red. I had a friend post on Facebook that like 6-7 of her family members have contracted COVID in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Several of them, this is their second time getting COVID, and a couple of them, this is their first time. But the Cocoa 19 is
alive and well.
It's going around knocking on everybody's door.
This is the BA.5, I think is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, BA5, but it's also some BA4 still out there.
Okay.
Which ironically 4 is a variant of 5.
Okay.
I don't know how they got that. You would think 4 came before 5, but
right. Normally 4 comes before 5, but I would say y'all we gotta stop taking it lightly. We ain't there yet. Let's continue to put the mask back on for a little while.
But yeah, I think I maybe I was on Facebook and I posted it after my bout with COVID.
Yeah.
I think I may have posted one of the physicians or something was talking about how rapidly this one was spreading.
C Major saying, yeah, this COVID is different. So
yeah, thank God they're saying that this one is not as violent. The symptoms are not as severe, but I can only imagine if you have other conditions that COVID would amplify the severity of those. So
right.
Be careful is my best.
Yeah, just be careful, man.
Advice.
Yeah, just be careful.
Tight mask. Not them just any old thing you can pick up and grab. Make sure it fits snugly on your face.
Yeah. Well, in lieu of him having COVID and being quarantined in one of the bedrooms in his apartment, he is wired into the show. It's weird. I don't know how he's doing this, but he's wired into the show. So we're gonna try to see if this will work. We've never done this before. So, but he asked me, I gotta play because I can't. He's been off a week, so he ain't got no money. So I get it. So we're gonna see how it works. Let's see how it works. I don't know. Okay, there it is. Oh wow. The things ain't got COVID, that's for sure. Welcome back to White Organism and welcome to all of you. But today's Talkin NOIZ. We are glad to be here with you today for another, in case you missed it, Monday. And we hope to have a good time. So grab your first stands and your Bibles and your tithing envelopes. And let's just sit back and enjoy ourselves as only we can right here on Talkin NOIZ. Amen. Hey, Marcus is playing that thing for sound. Hey, White Orders, you can hear me. You can.
You might feel something in the spirit. Man. Have your way, spirit. Have your way.
Okay, all right. I gotta stop before you get caught up, because next thing you know, you be playing some shout music, and then once they start playing the shout music, you down at least 25 minutes minimum. You know what I'm saying? Folks get to dancing and falling out on the floor. C Major over there bucking at his house. We don't need it right now. Let's just
yeah. White noise up in his house, crip walking.
Right. Throwing signs and stuff. It's a lot. Let's just not do it. Shout out to not shout out. I kind of started that wrong. Let me start again. We send our love and condolences. That's a better way to say it. To one of the icons of, I guess, mafia movies and mafia-based movies. Paul Sorvino. You remember Paul Sorvino, Mama Noise?
Oh no.
Yeah. Paul is most people know him from either two movies. They know him from Goodfellas. He was the head boss in Goodfellas, or they know him in the black community as the daddy in Money Talks. He was kind of a mob guy in Money Talks. But I had heard he had been sick for a long time. And so I think this was a culmination of some things that had gone on. But he was also on Law and Order for a long time. Some people may or may not remember that. But he was on Law and Order for a long time. I think he was in Godfather of Harlem for as well. He spent most of his time, I believe, in and around
mob movies,
mafia kinds of things. Like he has or Italian based roles. I'll say it that way. He was definitely kind of typecast. Because he had a strong Italian accent, but where I remember him most is from the Goodfellas. I loved him in Goodfellas. He was brilliant in that. Do you remember Al?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because you're not a movie guy, but do you remember? Surely you remember Paul Sorvino, though. Surely that face is familiar to you. For somebody that visits as many cemeteries as you do, you really dismiss people dying very easily. What's that about?
Don't give a damn.
How you don't give a damn about the people that die until they die. Then when they die and in the cemetery, you want to just be like, "Ooh, who's in here?" What's that about?
And death is a normal part of life.
Oh.
That Mother Hubbard ain't celebrating me, so why in the hell am I sitting looking? Yeah, I remember. Oh no,
This dude here, boy.
Well, none of those cemeteries that you visit celebrate you either. But
that's right. That's right.
Oh, damn.
I told you why I visit the cemetery. It's not because I'm sentimental. I told you it's because of history.
What is this history of him dying?
I told you that. I told you that.
So until that,
you guys are all sentimental. Oh no! Don't say it. Stop! Don't do it. No, it ain't him. Don't say it.
So until he becomes history, you can care less.
He did. He did. He did.
Well, now he's history. Now you can care.
Yeah. Now you be wanting to know: was it a mausoleum, or was he just put in the ground?
I remember him. He played Giuseppe in Bronx Bull. I remember him.
Giuseppe.
Only if you are a very famous person do I really care about the name.
Wow. Very famous.
I generally care about the numbers. I want to see what year you was born and when you died. I want to see how long you've been dead. I don't care that much about it. He's very famous, unless you're really famous. He's not really famous to me. I mean, he was typecast. Is that what they call it?
He was pretty typecast.
Like, come on, man. And I'm not Italian.
Oh my God! Did you hear that?
What the? He gets the button for sure.
I would think so. I would think that that qualifies. Yeah.
What is the Black Mafia called?
What?
What is the Black Mafia called?
Black Mafia family.
The name. What's the name of the Black Mafia family? Right.
That is the name.
BMF.
Who?
BMF. Black Mafia family.
And who's a part of that?
Big Meech.
Big
Meech. And his brother. I forgot his brother's name.
And the followers.
Why are we bringing up the Black Mafia?
Because he need to know there's some Black Mafias out there so that he can feel.
Are you in danger? If you're in danger, blink twice, nigga.
Did y'all hear about that shooting today at Love Field?
I was just about to come to that, sir. Your timing could not have been better. So there was I was gonna say there was a lady today. If my computer will work, thank you. At Love Field Airport in Dallas. 37-year-old lady by the name of, I had her name and I lost it just that fast.
You're not gonna be able to pronounce nothing but the first part. That's true.
First of all, you doubt my skills, sir. I have skills. I'm a very skilled individual.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You from Kentucky. You guys are intelligent.
I'm intelligent, bro. Portia Odufuwa. 37-year-old Portia. Unfortunately, she is black. She is. We took the L today, y'all. We took the L. She walked into the airport very angry. Apparently, her husband had, I guess, cheated on her, and so she felt like Love Field was the place she would take her revenge, and so she walked into the bathroom. Got herself together, I guess fixed her makeup or whatever she needed to do, walked back out, pulled the gun up. She said, "Hear ye, good people of Love Field Airport. Niggas are about to die."
No,
she fired. I'm about to handle some people up in here. And she fired a shot up in the air, and people scattered, and an officer saw her and put one in her.
I'm sitting there saying, you did a warning shot? You invited people to kill you first.
Yeah. Well, I think that may have been why she did it, though.
I think all of her shots, if not all, but majority of the shots were toward the ceiling. I don't think anybody was in great danger.
No.
Well,
I mean, I guess
she had a gun and she was firing in a public place, but I don't think she aimed the gun at anyone in particular. She fired shots at the ceiling.
So she wanted somebody to just lit her with
it felt like she may have wanted somebody to
do what she could not do.
Well, they didn't. As I understand the story, I got the story early, cuz so you're in Dallas. As I understand it, he injured her and she went to the hospital, but she is not dead. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Wow, this could be historical.
Yeah, the last story I got was they haven't released any information on her injuries other than she was shot in her lower extremities.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
This really could be historical. I have never seen that they would take. Or should I say, I have often thought to myself, why don't they try to injure the person so that they can live to tell about whatever it is the reason why they do this? Why do they have to riddle people with bullets and then say, "Oh, wish we would have known what the problem was"? Okay, but you didn't try to. I know you train to shoot to kill, but sometimes you might want to just shoot to, injure them so that we can hear about what the problem was. Maybe it's not all is lost that you feel like you want to shoot up to the ceiling because you want somebody to end your life. Maybe it's something that can be salvaged.
Well, let's be clear. We don't know what her injuries are right now. So let's hold off this celebration and praise that you're trying to give.
I'm not celebrating.
I don't know the last time you was in Love Field, but when I saw the press conference, it looked like most of the officers were black anyway.
Right. So it may have been a black dude.
Been the only thing that saved her life.
Right. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where this
young lady.
Yeah, very beautiful. It was just a weird. It's just I don't know. That pain is a mother, I guess, and so she didn't handle it very well.
It's not a mother. It's not hard on them at all. They get hurt.
What happened?
She didn't sound like she handled it very well.
Mama Noise. Can you shoot?
Random?
What just happened?
Can you shoot? Have you been target practicing?
No.
To the range.
No.
Random?
It's difficult to shoot people in their extremities.
Yeah, but we're talking about people that's been trained.
You generally talk to shoot. Well, I've been trained. I'm telling you. You generally shoot center mass because that's the bigger target.
Yeah, well, that sounds like center mass to kill them.
For some women, you aim for them balloons, or for some men, you aim for them guns.
So are you saying the fact that he shot for her lower extremities means he either
that was intentional?
So yeah, he definitely did not try to kill her.
He or she,
right? Don't want to put the blame on or heap this praise on a man or a woman we don't know yet.
On Wahite Radio, I listen to Wahite Radio because I like to know what they talk about. On Wahite Radio, they trying to figure out why he didn't shoot to kill. Aren't they trained to kill him? But they wanted her dead.
I'm sure.
They didn't want her to be at the Parkland Hospital right now, recovering.
With a toe tag.
That's what they want. Them folks that care about lives.
Wow.
Well, I'm appreciative that they were able to come up with a better plan. But I mean, if you
wait a minute. Why am I getting this? We must be on a different stream. Talkin NOIZ says, yes, cuz comes to that area, you aim and shoot. So apparently Talkin NOIZ is.
What happened to Mama NOIZ?
She's freezing, man.
I'm freezing?
She froze a little bit.
Say what you said again, Mama NOIZ.
I said, I'm not sure which stream this is on, but apparently Talkin NOIZ is commenting. It's just not in the regular comments here, saying that you are correct, cuz when it comes to aim to shoot at. So apparently Talkin NOIZ has been to the gun range.
Do y'all really believe Talkin NOIZ can shoot, though? I mean, come on.
From Detroit.
Maybe she can. I don't know. Well, you know what? It might be mandatory in Detroit. Like, you probably can't get your driver's license without learning how to shoot.
Right.
She probably like, I just for kicks. If I'm gonna drive this nice car, I'm gonna have me.
You might have to listen. It might be gun license then driver's license in Detroit. Like,
right. Right at the console.
What does her nice car have to do with her shooting, Mama NOIZ?
Hey, you don't want no problems. You don't want no problem with me.
Hey,
you want no here? You gonna meet her cousin. My mama drove a Corvette, and please believe she had a nickel-plated pearl handle 38 under the driver's seat. And one time in particular, a Wahite man tried to run us off the road, and she was like, "Not today!" and reached up under that seat and rolled that window down and was getting ready to shoot across me to let him know that she comes packing. And all of a sudden, so I'm just saying.
Should you carry a gun everywhere?
Should you what now?
Should you carry your?
You guys are freezing up.
He said, "Should you carry your gun everywhere?"
Yeah,
I
didn't
used
freeze
to.
that time. Or at least
I used to, Lloyd, but then I realized that with that false sense of power came a quicker fuse.
Yeah.
So I stopped carrying my gun everywhere I go.
You're less
Oh, snap.
You're less
well, I asked that question because Sunday morning, while the good bishop was preaching, this happened.
Yo. All right. Yo, all right.
Wow.
As you can see, men walked in and robbed the good bishop and his wife jewelry while he was giving the word of God.
$500,000 worth of jewelry.
Apparently it was $500,000 worth of jewelry.
Was it $500,000?
Well,
It was hold on, I can't remember.
that's what he said.
Right. What do you? Why?
Right.
He should have got robbed up in that storefront church with $500,000.
Right.
Now, before
He
I
said
pass,
more than $1 million in jewelry.
that's what he said. That's what he said.
what he said.
Now, before I pass any judgment on the man, let me allow him the opportunity to speak on his own behalf. Let me allow him to speak on his own behalf.
As I was preaching, I seen 3 to 4 armed men come in, and I just told my church, because see, when you're a shepherd, right, you have to lead your sheep. You have to lead your sheep, and you have to protect your sheep. And when I seen the armed men come in, you know, it was specifically for me. It was specifically for me and of course my wife. And when I seen them come into the sanctuary with their guns, I told everybody, get out. Everybody just get out.
I didn't hear any of that.
I didn't know if they wanted to shoot the church up or if they were just coming for a robbery. And they were all black men and they had masks, but I can see their face. And they came in and they took all of my wife's jewelry and took all of my jewelry. And
you looking up at the sky to say you got robbed? Trying to find words to say you want to be elegant.
But here's the irony in that story.
Robbed?
If several, however many, I forget, if they come in with masks, armed, you have the divine knowledge to know that they were strictly for you and your wife?
Facts. How'd you know that?
Well,
sounds like a setup to me.
Let me quote my pastor.
Because if 2 armed robbers come in, they hitting everybody.
Right. Normally, under normal circumstances.
Right. That sounds like a setup to me.
Let me quote my pastor, if y'all don't mind. The black community, we're going to remain oddly silent in this particular case because it looks like this nigga is clearly lying. It's feeling real juicy smooth on this one. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Furthermore, one of them dudes did not look black.
One of them dudes did not look black. The first dude did not look black.
They looked into the camera. Why they do that? Why would you look into the camera and you robbing the place?
I don't know.
I'm like Anthony Bruce in the chat. That's what it sounds like to me.
Insurance scam could be.
Well, everybody must have been in on it, including the armor bearers. Play that video.
He didn't even move.
He didn't move, Doc.
He didn't move an inch.
Listen, armor bearer training does not include bullets.
That armor bearer training sucked.
Well,
I didn't see anybody in the picture, but him.
No, he was sitting over in the corner.
Oh yeah, he said that he ain't budge.
He was there.
Either he was the armor bearer or the one who reads the scripture.
He sat his ass right there. He didn't move.
Yo.
See, I don't see anybody.
He's not. Let me see. Does it shift?
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
there he is.
There he is right there.
He's Mr. Music. He just got off the keyboards.
Yeah, he chilling.
He don't follow instructions well because preacher said he told everybody to get down.
They say for them to get down. Right.
Said that, but I didn't hear him say that. Did y'all hear him say? I didn't hear him say nothing.
I didn't hear anything.
No.
All right.
That sounds like setup to me.
I mean, listen.
Because old boy right there in the
I don't
all
even
black, he's like, he looking around like they ain't even on time.
I can't.
I told him to come through the offering. Doggone it.
Wow, really?
I don't know, man. It the first time I saw it, I was like, Then the second time I saw it, I was like, And now I'm going, this is really coming out real juicy smooth, yay. That's the most casual, non-confrontational robbery I've ever seen.
I mean, usually they be talking or something. He just come in and you already know what to do.
I don't know. I don't want to question a man's trauma. I'm just saying that one don't feel.
Probably should have spent a little less money on jewelry and a little more money on their audio system because the camera ain't picking up no audio of them saying,
right.
Everybody put your face down.
Everybody get your wallet
out. You don't hear no instructions from the armed robbers.
Right. I didn't hear
none of that.
But you know, most of the time when people get robbed, they usually don't do like a press conference afterwards and say, "Just want you guys to know."
Well, he didn't do a press conference, Mama Noise. He went to Instagram and spoke.
Oh, that's right. That's the new press conference. Is Instagram.
And what's interesting, he spoke while he was still in his robe. Like he was.
Well, that's because the Brooklyn PD showed up and they was like, Subway at 2 a.m.
Sandwiches?
Subway.
Why you got fried chicken or a plate of fried chicken on your desk, sir? Well, we still had to have our fried chicken meal. What?
Oh.
I don't know. It's again, maybe it's all real. Maybe it's
I
100%.
look forward to hearing the rest of the story.
I'm not sure we're gonna hear anything else.
It feels like this nigga is clearly lying. I'm just, you know, we will reserve judgment until further notice. What is not fake, ladies and gentlemen, though, is over the weekend, another young rapper, a rapper by the name of Rollie Bands. And what makes this a unique situation is that 5 minutes before he was killed, Mr. Bands went on his Instagram and posted his whereabouts and basically told his potential killers or whatever,
Ops.
come. A lot of these ninjas know where I live at for real. I sleep in peace. And if a nigga want smoke, I'm at my crib in 5 minutes.
And
5 minutes later, they shot him with a single shot in front of his apartment.
The Little Rascals taught us that you don't double dog dare nobody.
You don't double dog dare people. The most fascinating part about this story is to me is that it reeks of a new generation devoid of consequence. They feel as though we are invincible, and no, not roly poly, Rollie Bands. I'm sorry. I know it's close. It sounds like roly poly. It's actually Rollie Bands.
no, Rollie Poly is the kids' cartoon on Nickelodeon.
I thought roly poly was the little bug that would be on the ground that would ball.
That is true as well.
Okay, all right. Anyway, it reeks of not understanding that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just can't do stuff or say stuff and expect there not to be consequences, especially with people that you clearly have beef with.
But this is becoming a pattern. This is not the first time somebody has talked smack on Instagram and said, well, come through then. You want the smoke? I'm over at the corner of blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. You know where I stay. Some guy was, I think it was right after, if I remember correctly, it was right after Nipsey Hussle was killed. And they were talking about, the guy got on Instagram talking about, I'm glad, blah, 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 so-and-so. If somebody else didn't do it, he would have did it. And you got a problem with it. He's on the corner of this, this, and that. And I mean to tell you, while he was live on Instagram, they rolled up and they shot and killed him while he was live. And I don't know if we're aware of it, but I was watching a documentary on Hulu. And they were talking about how this is normal. A lot of gangs and stuff communicate with each other via Instagram. They talk about what they're going to do. They going to, they let you know where they at. They finna do this. Matter of fact, they got their on Instagram and just doing a hit live while somebody's on Instagram.
Well, let me say this while you freezing up, Mama Noise. If that is true, that they are communicating hits and retaliation on Instagram, old school would call that stupid as hell. Because why would you tell somebody what you're doing? That ain't gangster. That ain't G. That's dumb.
Hey,
that's really, really dumb.
That's how these young people are communicating. That's how they're getting messages I don't understand. All these young people got beef with people. I don't
What's
get
the
it.
beef?
Everybody got beef. Damn it, eat the other white meat. Pork.
Yeah, chicken or pork or something.
Or
Everybody's got beef with somebody else.
mm-hmm.
Why are our young people so angry?
Well,
What are they so angry about?
if you go by the video that Jay was talking about the other day, it's because we as parents are teaching them to be so mean and angry and bitter and all those that grocery list of things that he said that we're teaching. I'm sorry, as we as women are doing to our daughters, we're teaching them to be mean and angry and
We're
aggressive.
teaching our daughters to be mean and angry?
That's what his part of his message was about, teaching them to be angry, teaching them to be aggressive, teaching them, to be nasty, and teaching them, that's why he said that we're raising up our daughters to be.
Are you talking about Bishop Jakes?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said Jay.
No, but Jay had the video.
Right. Okay. But that's why the guys are shooting each other, because the women are so angry.
I mean, if the mamas are raising the daughters to be up angry and all that type of stuff, then what are they raising the sons?
Oh, okay, I see where you're going now. I don't know if I agree, but I see where you're trying to take it.
Are the young men bitter because they're having to figure this thing called life out on their own? And I don't know.
That would be a reason for being angry. Or maybe moms are taking it out on the sons.
You're not blaming moms, are you?
No, I'm saying it's I talked to somebody that was like, man, a lot of my anger and stuff is because my mom put the anger that she had towards my dad on me. And I was like, man. And then that was another reason this guy was like, well, that's why he didn't want to be with black women. Because he was like, the anger my mom put on me because she wanted what she really was misdirected. It should have been towards him. Instead, it was directed towards the son. And then the son is like, man, if this is how black women act, kick rocks. I'm going to run to the white women so that I don't have to deal with that.
So, to your point, Anthony Bruce said these boys can't control their emotions. They were never taught how.
That makes sense. And they're resorted to, machismo. They're resorting to flexing their masculinity, their masculine pride.
This is interesting. Cuz you're contemplating. I can see it in your eyes. Your thoughts, sir?
On why are our young people so angry?
Yeah. And all things that we've said here in these last 2 or 3 minutes.
Well, Mama Noah's a poor communicator. Well, she said that I had said that shit in that video. She forgot to mention Titty Jakes.
You did send out the video.
But you never said the video Jay sent out about Titty Jakes.
I said that.
I tried to clean it up for you, cuz. I tried to clean it up for you.
But to Mama Noah's defense, it does sound like something you would say. But
it absolutely sounds like something you would say. But
although you didn't, but it does sound like something you would say.
We will not attribute to you this time. So we reserve the right to come back later and attribute all that shit to you. There you go.
Are we all having internet problems?
I think it's got to be StreamYard at this point because
I was just freezing.
Yeah, it's probably StreamYard.
You are freezing.
Yeah, it's StreamYard. I'm sure it's
Bless his
StreamYard.
heart.
We're gonna press through. We're gonna press through. Although, or not. Maybe you frozen and we just gotta wait on you to come back.
Wow.
And while you're waiting on you, while we're waiting on you to come back, I'll respond real quick. Mama Noise, I don't know if you're wrong in what you're saying, and I like to tie what you said to what Anthony Bruce said, because I do believe this is this is a collision of several different things at an intersection that is really causing problems in the Black community. It's the Black father not being there, colliding with the mom who's angry, colliding with the young man who's angry, and trying to figure out manhood and find it, like Al said, find his machismo, and it's this ugly collision of events, plus poverty and economics, that you're trying to make money and however you can make it in the hood, and it's just a weird collision of events that is coming together. The part of it that I don't know what to do with is, why is it not that way across the board? Because everybody's not having that reaction. Like Al and I grew up in the hood. I didn't come to that conclusion that F everybody and I'm shooting everybody. I didn't come to that conclusion. And somehow in the midst of my journey, I have been able to figure out how to process these emotions that I have, or to channel these emotions in the right directions and not respond in those ways. So why is it affecting some more than others, or why is it shifting people more than others? If you buy into the premise that Mama Noise and Anthony Bruce and others have surmised, but cuz back.
We are, in my humble opinion, a society of victims.
We who is the we?
Black folk.
Okay. I just want to clarify.
We don't know how to take responsibility for our lives, so we blame others for what's wrong in our lives, for what's not going right. And though it may come across as small at first, it grows in us. And we're constantly blaming someone else. That's why I have a beef with you, Mr. Noise, because I'm actually blaming you for something.
Okay.
And because of that victim mentality, we don't have any power. Victims don't have power.
Right.
Because of that victim mentality, we don't have power. So in the long run, we will lash out because we feel powerless as victims. It's a mentality thing.
Sure.
And that's what they are.
But here's the thing, at least I'll speak for myself. I had enemies back in the 80s, early 90s. I didn't wish them dead.
It has gotten worse, Albie. You're correct. We've all had people we disliked, or enemies, or we didn't necessarily use the word beef back then, but it has gotten worse to where they feel that there is no other option.
I think this is the Bible coming to life. The Bible says when you sweep the house of the enemy, whatever, if you don't really truly address it properly, that enemy comes back 7 times stronger. In other words, our generation may have not have taken the bait completely out with the victimization part of it, but I don't know if we properly, and I say we as a whole, not us specifically, but we as a whole didn't really truly address the whole part of it. So we maybe didn't address the victimization aspect of it like we were supposed to, so that we weren't considered, or we didn't consider ourselves perpetually victim or victimized. And so because we didn't shift all the way out of it as a whole, that mindset still exists, to Cuz's point. And so it's worse because generationally now we see it more. So it feels like we're more victim than we actually are.
Everywhere.
Yeah, it feels like we are way more victim, because I don't know if there's anything that's different generationally. I just think I have more access to the reality of it than I ever had before, where it was confined to my little circle and my group of friends. Now I see everybody's victimization. So it feels like we are victimized in totality. And maybe we always were, but now I can see it, which makes it worse.
But there's something, because
go on, Mr.
Because I was watching Reel, which is one of those short videos. I guess that's the only way to make money on social media now.
Right.
But one of those reels, and it was of and Azaria may have to help me out, or y'all can. Something Cudi.
Kid Cudi, yeah.
Kid Cudi was in concert, and
rapper, yeah.
They were throwing objects at him, and he told him if something else hit the stage, he was walking off stage, and before he could even get it out, somebody had thrown something. But that seems to be a common occurrence now.
Yeah,
people pelting artists with cell phones and shoes and things of that nature. It's like, why would you pay good money to go in and carry on like that? So the society in a whole has an edge of aggression, animosity, and no reservation about acting out on that aggression. So
yeah, we're kind of eroding right before our very eyes. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's weird. Yeah,
but
to see
it's a blame mentality. I think Mama Noah's mentioned earlier about some guy that was mistreated as a kid by his mom, and therefore he went the Wahite route because he couldn't see himself with a black woman because of the way he was treated as a kid by a black woman. Now you tell me what sense that makes. You got men right now today. There you go. You got men right now today that don't want women to discuss what they experienced yesterday with a man, why they react the way they act today towards men. But you got men who blame their childhood on the choices they make in adulthood when it comes to women.
Say that again.
Think about it now. Think about it.
Say it one more time.
You got men out here that's saying to women, but y'all need to get over what happened to y'all yesterday with that other nigga. Y'all need to get over what happened to y'all last week with that other nigga. Because I'm in your life. I'm here. I'm a man. You don't want her to express her reservations with what she experienced just yesterday with men. But you can pull what happened to you as a child.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
But the choices you make in adulthood. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying there's anything that you're way off on that, because the reality is one of the stories we were going to talk about tonight is the rapper Future once again taking shots, I guess, in a song or something, at Russell Wilson. And I don't even want to get into the song part. I don't even want to give him the satisfaction of quoting his lyrics from the song. But it's interesting that this dude keeps talking about his ex, Sierra, and you did her wrong. Like, bro, you did her wrong. You could have had her. You had her. So why are you basically sitting on the next man that is doing her right? I don't understand. Like, she'll always be mine. What are you talking about? No, she actually won't be yours. She's
That's
moved on.
narcissistic. If I can't have her, nobody will.
But you're 1,000%, Al. And by the way, and I think it ties back to what Cuz is saying. What do you want perpetually to be the victim? Like you? Like, I don't understand what you want from this situation. You didn't want her, and she realized that, so she moved on. Is she not allowed to have self-esteem? Like, do you want her to be pining after you like the other 6 baby mamas? Like, I'm just trying to understand what you want. You want to be able to drop off something on her whenever you want, like you do the other 6 baby mamas? Get over it, like Cuz is saying, get over it. I was victimized as a child. My daddy wasn't in my life, but that's not an excuse to be a perpetual asshole. That's not an excuse for that. And I don't understand why we've allowed society to erode to that place where it is an excuse, where it's okay. By the way, shout out to Nick Cannon on baby number 8. Congratulations.
Wow, really?
They had the baby today, Mama Noise. I was just giving them a shout out.
Okay, shout out. I think Future does that foolishness because he expected her to fall apart or not succeed like all the rest of his baby mamas. Like, in other words, as long as you don't try to do better than me, but now you get on the come up and you not only do better than you, but I mean,
can I ask a question? Can I ask a weird question? This is a weird question, but I'm asking for conversation purposes. Oh man, this is gonna be tight. After you've been treated that way by a Future, how easy is it to receive a Russell Wilson?
I don't
Because a
think
lot of people. Go ahead, Al. I was just gonna say a lot of people say that she's basically hanging on by a thread. That deep in her heart, she really still wants Future, which I find remarkable in thought.
I think it's more of Sierra breaking, being a myth buster. All women, a lot of women, I'm not going to say all women, but a lot of women talk about they want that roughneck. They want that thug that's going to blow her back out. And I think Sierra is like, you know what? I found a good man, and it's okay. It's all right. So I think Sierra broke the cycle and then escaped the nonsense. I'm not saying Russell's not blowing her back out, but I'm just saying he's not that prototypical thug.
Right.
Yeah.
Can she receive it in totality, or because I've heard a lot of people surmise it's only just a matter of time. Eventually, she's gonna get tired of that and move on back to something else. And I'm saying, to move on to what? Like, what if Russell Wilson can't do it for you? What are you looking for? Like, I can't. I personally think that's crazy in thought, and I think the people that believe that are crazy in thought. But I'm curious to know what y'all think. I think they're gonna go the distance.
I think you can't get for her to try to look for something better. I don't think she's gonna find it. I think she's found the person for her. I mean, this guy pours out love on her. Like, I mean, I don't know who she's ever met or who she's been involved with before Future, but I mean, the type of love he pours out on her.
Well, yes, she did. She was with Bow Wow.
Okay, that don't count. That was probably pedophilia. But anyway, I'm saying simply that I mean,
pedophilia. Wow.
I mean, how old was Bow Wow? I mean,
they're not the same age, Mama Noah.
Okay, because he looks like a child at all times. that I'm just saying he tried to change it and call him Bow and all that type of stuff, but he's always gonna look like a child from because he started as a child.
Wow.
I'm saying that this guy Russell pours out so much love on her, and see, people can say, well, I pour all this love privately, but he pours it out privately, publicly. And, for them to, buy, what is it? They have a portion of the Dodgers. Is it the Dodgers?
No, I know it's not the Dodgers.
A soccer team or somewhere, something they bought a business investment. I mean, and he just, she's involved in it. She's a part of it. I mean, it's not just, okay, I'll bring you along for the ride. She is a part of it, and they are.
But here's the challenge, though, and I wonder about this. I don't think she's victim of it. I think you and Al are completely right, but I just wonder, can you truly, because Cuz says to us all the time, you can never truly stop loving a person. So can she ever stop loving the toxic side of herself?
I believe
Future represents the toxic side of herself. Can she ever really stop loving that side of herself?
I think she struggles with that side of herself because if you remember back at Christmas time or something like that, she was trying to I think she posted, like, in other words, I don't want to paraphrase, but it was a post of, like, it was like a couple of digs at Future, and you like, why are you even wasting your time digging at Future? You got this guy that's your husband.
Looks like we have
come back.
Another issue.
Make both of them. Lloyd, you froze too?
Yeah, but he locked up tighter than Paul.
It might be the Pine Bluff internet services.
That's what it looks like. Looks like somebody.
But while they get back, I would say that I think she has moved on past her toxic infatuation or love for Future.
That's possible. And see that the problem with it is I think we get it twisted that love means I still want you, I still think about you all the time, and I still desire something from you. That's not what love is. If you ever really love someone, you will always love the person. I don't want you because of your toxic behavior. I don't want you because of what you did to me. I can't trust you. No fun. I can pick you up and throw you. But that doesn't mean I don't care about the person that I love.
Right.
Yeah, she's moved on.
And after all, he is the father of her child.
Exactly. But people get that love thing twisted. Is that she still, has feelings and she's still trying to ease back that? No, that's not the case. I don't think. I think she's moved on with Russell, which is the right thing to do. That's just my opinion.
I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah. So interesting that we're all having internet issues, but you're not.
And normally it's me.
Normally it's you. And
right.
It looks like they're on lockdown.
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat, if we still on, because we generally go through StreamYard through their server. If we still on, somebody in the chat say something.
Which would be surprising that we would be still on. But the
clock, I see the live timer is still going.
It's still ticking. So I don't know how it stayed on when he signed off.
We good. Chad says we good.
Wow.
So I admire Russell Wilson. he's not always with a clap back. You know what I'm saying? Is like we above that. We soaring above that. So I admire that.
When you see Russell doesn't present himself as a victim. He doesn't present himself as anything less than a man.
Right.
So he has no reason to clap back at unless that guy is disrespecting his wife. And there's a way to do that. But if he's disrespecting her publicly, there's a way to do that without appearing that you are clapping back.
Right.
But Russell has exemplified manhood.
Yeah.
And I think that more of us as men need to look towards that. Those that are putting them down or trying to box them in or trying to label them to be what they want them to be, that's just hurt people trying to wait on somebody else to be just as broken or as hurt as they are. And
I think Russell's his resolution is he showers her with even more love.
Right. And we
which
all,
us as men, us as black men especially, should do more of that.
There you go. We ought to have that mentality because
instead of aggression, show more love.
Because we know people want us to fail. People are waiting on us to fail. People are the 10 o'clock news, the local headlines, whatever it is. They're waiting on us to destroy each other. So we as men, Russell's in the limelight and he knows it. And he's just going to shower her with more love and continue to be the man that he's been. If we could take that mentality towards our relationship with our women, we'd be much better off.
Right.
I believe that. So this is interesting that we are.
Go ahead.
Without them. So what are you going to do, Albie?
I was just, first of all, I was going to say I completely agree with Chad, C Major, that Russell Wilson's not threatened by him.
Right.
And I don't know if that's his confidence or the assurance he's receiving from Sierra. Either way, I think it's effective. I'm reaching out to the House of Noise.
Does a woman have to, well, it helps if she does, but does a woman have to reassure you in order for you to be that man in her life?
Honestly, Jay, I think it does help. Is it needed? No. But our egos are so fragile already.
Okay.
I think it helps tremendously.
I agree. Fragile egos.
And that is also a lot of what's going on in our community with these young men just shooting up neighborhoods with no remorse and
but you notice
no concern with collateral damage, taking out mamas and babies. And
you notice that when that happens in our community, we still don't get the news of it. We don't. It's not headline news because it's almost as if they believe or expect for it to happen.
Right.
But notice when it happened in Highland Park, Illinois. People were that week up in Congress, testifying before Congress about gun control and about violence in our nation with guns. Remember, I've said 101 times, probably 102 times. The more it happens in those type of communities, the quicker we will see a change. If it doesn't happen in the Highland Parks, and Highland Park is 89.6% white.
But see, because that's kind of what that's kind of stoking the fire, because we as a community are saying it shouldn't take that. We are equal citizens, just like the ones that make up Highland Park. So why can't you be already at a heightened alert, at a level 5, actively trying to resolve this already?
Well, it's going to take us to be the activists. It's going to take us to march on Washington about gun violence in this nation. It takes us to do it. And the problem is, if anyone tries to take the lead on that, you better get ready to get, what did y'all say? They was throwing cell phones at people on stage, or throwing oranges or whatever. You better get ready to get criticized. Because leadership in the Black community, that's a very scary thing. It's a very, very scary thing. You almost have to be, I don't know, the word is not perfect, but it takes a special kind of person to lead broken people. Let's just put it like that. Let's just put it like that. And who's willing to do that?
Well,
we have tried. Even Martin Luther King tried.
I'm gonna tell you,
we criticized him.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, that's harder today than it's ever been, because of our unwillingness to allow an imperfect leader.
Right.
We want all our leaders to be pristine and spotless and without wrinkle. We want them to be Jesus.
I don't know if it's perfect though, Mr. Noise, because we don't like perfection either. Because we talk about perfection. Who do he think he is, and who is he supposed to be? So it's not really.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. That goes back to the absenteeism of the Black man in church. It's like, I ain't gonna follow him. Why would I follow him?
Right.
He put his pants on one leg at a time, just like I do.
Right. Right.
Knocking up such and such and so, trying to get a little something on the side, just like I am. I see him over at the liquor store or on the casino boat, just like I am. And that's the same way with our leaders. Well, they do what I do.
You know why?
They ain't no better than me.
You know why Al and Jesse are caricatures and basically to a degree powerless? That's because of us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But why do them? They would have power, and we would have more power, because both have had the ears of presidents.
Yeah. I would argue that we wouldn't, if social media would have existed in the 60s, we wouldn't have followed Dr. King.
I agree.
The first time somebody heard that Dr. King was tapping somebody in Kentucky, in Louisville, Kentucky, they'd have been like, nah, we ain't following that nigga.
It wouldn't have happened. I agree with you.
We do it now.
He ain't perfect enough.
What's the rapper now? Mike, something Mike, Mad Mike, Big Mike,
Killer Mike.
Big advocate. Seems to be doing everything right for the community.
Oh yeah.
But you think as a mass we're gonna follow him? No.
David Banner, another great voice, great social advocate. I mean, really fighting for Black people.
What was the professor that used to be on all the political shows?
Eric Dyson?
No, before Dyson.
With the hair.
Yeah.
What's his name?
We found flaw in him, so we wouldn't rally.
Cornel West, yes.
That's just us.
We got everything we wanted in Barack Obama. We didn't follow him.
No.
He looked the way we want him to look. He sounded the way we want him to sound.
He married who we wanted him to marry.
He married who he wanted to marry. He raised a good father, good husband, all practical purposes. I don't know. Maybe that's how I talked that Tuesday question. I was going to go a different route, but maybe that's how I talked that Tuesday question. Who do we want to follow? Or should we follow anybody?
I can't follow anybody when I'm trying to make it about me. That's one of the biggest problems. You often heard it in the church. One of the greatest leaders are those that first followed. All we want to do is lead. We want to be leaders. We want to be individuals. We want to be seen. We want to be out front. And in this time of social media, with all of the TikToks and the whatnots and all that, everybody wants to be known.
But I'm gonna push back a little bit on that statement. You're not wrong in that part, but I'm gonna push back a little bit. One of the things that I think they did better in the past than they do now is that there was a true succession plan in place. So they understood. I think King understood that he needed to be training his successor. That's why he kept saying, "I don't know if I'm gonna get there with you, but I'm prepared for whatever my future is." But he was training Jesse. He was training all these guys to pick up the mantle and carry it forward. I don't know, even to go localize and Al. I think Charles Elliott, to some degree, did a pretty good job of training successors, guys that would follow and pick up the mantle and go after him after he kind of started losing his steam or whatever the case may be. I don't know if that's the case today. That guys, your grandfather is a phenomenal example of that, Al. That church was going to survive no matter who they put in. Well, I say no matter who they put in the pastoral, but I think that church was trained to know what the overall vision was enough to where they knew what the next man looked like. I don't know if that's the case all the way across the board. Concord Baptist Church is a great example of that with Dr. E.K. Bailey. Dr. E.K. Bailey trained his successor. I don't know if there is a true succession plan in place now, or even a trust to put a successor in place.
And I would say, go a step further, say it's most certainly is not, because you mentioned here locally, and I'll stick locally. You said Charles Elliott. Well, Charles Elliott had the Lewis Colemans and the Matty Joneses coming up behind them, and now just say we the community, we are a wagon, right?
Right.
So now you have a wagon that's hitched up on all four sides, and you have horses hitched up on all four sides of that wagon, and they're pulling in four different directions, and the wagon's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and that local tug and challenge is a micro to the macro of every community in every urban city in Black America. It's happening in Dallas. It's happening in Detroit. It's happening in Chicago. It's happening in New York, LA, everywhere. We can't. A Black leader can't emerge because we don't know who to follow and trust, and that's a problem. Because who are we supposed to listen to? You muted, cuz. You muted.
I said another part of the problem is we had.
That's a great example, by the way, Al.
We had a common enemy back then. Too many of us don't believe that we have that common enemy anymore. We had something that we could rally around back then. Too many of us believe that they've already arrived. They don't need to rally anymore. One of the greatest parts of the civil rights movement was that a lot of people that were fighting for rights for people, they had already achieved the American dream and success. Yeah, I mean, some of them at times still couldn't go into certain restaurants through the front door, or they had to sleep at they had the Chitlin circuit or whatever. But a lot of famous people, very successful people back then, were fighting for rights for all of us. And too many of us now that once we, move to a certain area of town, and once we drive a certain car, and once we got one or two white friends, and we better not go to no white church, and once we mess around here and marry a white woman, then we think we already arrived. So now what am I fighting for? I don't need to fight anymore. Y'all need to pull yourselves up by the bootstrap. That's the problem.
See, my pastor says all the time, and I mean my real pastor says all the time that problems arrived when we were blessed enough to get off of the alleys and the streets, and the Lord blessed us and put us on parkways and boulevards, and then we forgot our purpose, which was, am I my brother's keeper?
Right. Right.
Y'all preaching right now.
And what can we do as a community no longer exist?
Nope.
It's how am I going to make it?
Yep.
And I'm gonna grab my shoelaces and strap myself up by my shoelaces, bootstraps, or whatever they say. Which is why now you have people from our community saying, "Oh, I was blessed and highly favored during the Trump administration.
Yeah,
I prospered well during the Trump administration, but we as a people didn't."
You guys realize just how powerful. I know it failed because of greed, but do you realize just how powerful the movement of Black Lives Matter was and where it could have gone?
Oh, absolutely. That's what, let me tell you something. To me, that's what makes what has happened so frustrating, because we haven't had a unifying thematic.
See, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. We still know that those issues still exist.
Well, but what I'm saying though, because we haven't, prior to the beginning of it in Ferguson, we haven't had one like that since probably that was really unifying community wise, probably since Dr. King.
Mr. Noise, white people pretend to be shocked about cops' violence towards us. We know it happens. So we shouldn't have to wait for the next one before we march again. We shouldn't have to wait for the next one. That's reactionary. Why are we still reacting to what they do? When do we come together as a people and say, you know what? There's power in numbers. And with Black Lives Matter, we had the numbers. They actually had to listen.
Yeah, the numbers, yeah. Well, you said, when do we come together? Geez, what a question. Because, man, it just appears that the win is only when the life didn't matter.
And then Donald Trump comes into office and throws us a bone. Now we're supposed to go somewhere and sit down because he released one or two Black people out of prison. You see how that works?
Yeah.
Now they care now. They care. They change it. No, guys, it's only a matter of time before it happens again. It's only a matter of time before the killing continues of us towards us and them towards us. It's only a matter of time. So that is a rallying point.
Is it possible? Golly, this is. I don't want to get too deep into tomorrow's show, but is it possible to have sustained momentum within our community? Without having a leader? I shouldn't have asked that. I shouldn't have added that last part because that's tomorrow's show. I'm going too far. This is a good question.
If there's ever people in America that should care about violence, Black people should care.
should care.
All abiding Black people should care, because all of us know some family member in an inner city somewhere, whether it was our mama. Mama Noah's talked about it earlier, how she had to pull out, her mama had to pull out her pea shooter. She was going to shoot that SOB. All of us know of our elderly that are actually afraid. These are law-abiding citizens, taxpayer citizens, oftentimes church-going citizens that are scared to go to the grocery store by themselves, that are scared to go to the bank by themselves, that are scared to walk the street by themselves. If anybody knows violence and fear, Black people should know it. That's a rallying point right there. We ought to be sick of it.
But in order to address it properly, we got to confront the reality of where our violence is coming from initially.
Watch out. Watch out.
And therein lies as Uncle would say, the rub.
But we can't wait on perfection to act. We have to act.
That's it. Wow.
We can't get all the answers up front. We just need to act, genuinely act without greed and selfishness. Act for the greater good.
I think that's the key component that needs to be removed. Greed. There's always somebody that wants something for themselves. What's in it for me? What am I going to get out of it? So if we can act selflessly, I think that's the only path toward a good resolve.
Whew. Tomorrow's show, we gonna save it. God, dog, this is good. I almost don't want to save it. This is so good, but oh man, this is so good. In a weird way, what I'm about to say now ties into what we're talking about. In a very strange and bizarre way, what I'm about to share now ties into it. Have y'all heard? Y'all shout out to Jordan Peele, who had his next #1 movie, Nope, this weekend. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, the movie Nope, but I think it did $44 million this weekend. And the lovely Keke Palmer and Daniel Kaluuya starred in it. Now, I've heard very mixed responses as a result of the movie. Some people say it was horrible, and others say, it was different, and some say just wait, it's coming on a streaming service near you. Don't go to it. Don't spend your money like that. So I don't know. We'll see. But that's not the part that I wanted to talk about. The part I wanted to talk about was Keke Palmer's response to somebody on social media commenting and I guess comparing her to Zendaya. And what made the situation very interesting is that she didn't really particularly care for the comparisons. A tweet went viral over the weekend, and somebody said, "I'd like someone to do a deep dive on the similarities and differences between Keke Palmer and Zendaya's careers. This may be one of the clearest examples of how colorism plays out in Hollywood. They were both child stars, but their mainstream popularity is very different." And so Keke decided to weigh in on the tweet. And she said, "A great example of colorism is to believe I can be compared to anyone. I'm the youngest talk show host ever, the first Black woman to star in her own show on Nickelodeon, and the youngest and first Black Cinderella on Broadway. I am an incomparable talent. Baby," in capital letters, "this is Keke Palmer." She went on to tweet, "I've been a leading lady since I was 11 years old. I have over 100 plus credits and currently starring in an original screenplay that's the #1 film at the box office, #Nope. I've had a blessed career thus far, and I couldn't ask for more, but God continues to surprise me." Now, I'm reading this particular recount of the story from CNN. So this black woman decided to respond to some random tweeter and compare herself and her career accolades and achievements to Zendaya, who has some game in her own right. I don't understand why she would have taken the bait on that.
I was just going to say what she don't have is a little class, because if she had a little class, she wouldn't have even responded. The classier thing would have been to say Zendaya's a wonderful actress in her own rights. I see no need to compare, and left it at that.
Right. Just say,
because for real, all I remember you for is a Killing the Bees.
Killing the Bee, right?
So,
but I think that speaks to what we were just talking about. If we're all still crabs in a barrel, then how is somebody gonna lead us out? Like I don't see what was gained at all from Keke Palmer doing that.
Nothing. Me and my team of horses is going this way. Well,
right.
Me and my team of horses is going this way.
And that's why I think your analogy is so spot on, because if it goes back to what Jay was saying of our level of selfishness that we have achieved we are achieving currently. I'm only out for me and mine and my four and no more. If that is where we are, how in the world are we ever going to come out of this as black people? Like, I was like, and she didn't necessarily rip Zendaya. She didn't do that. But what was the purpose of defending your own accolades? Like, you know what you've done. So why did you need to remind us? Then speaks of your insecurity.
She shouldn't have even bit into that.
Yeah. It speaks to your insecurity. And of course, the Wahites are going to take that and run with it, which is what they did. They put it on.
It was picked up by CNN.
Yeah. And they're going to say, well, Zendaya has not responded yet, which kind of almost provokes Zendaya. Now, hopefully Zendaya will say, I respect Keke Palmer, and she is a legend, and I hope my career is whatever, however she wants to say it in a classy manner, and she doesn't take the bait and this dies, and she lets Keke argue with herself. But I just don't understand who's supposed to lead if no one has the capacity to do so. I didn't get that. I honestly didn't get that. Mama Noise? Cuz?
I think that maybe, Keke has lost some roles or has had some traumatic experiences competing with lighter skinned black women, knowing that she has the chops to be able to fulfill the role, but yet, be compared to a lighter skinned black woman on a regular basis. So she was ready to go into defense mode. Like, wait a minute, I did this, and that. Even though it's like she was trying to, if you already know that, you don't have to try to tell the world that that's something that you struggle with. But for years.
So essentially, Mama Noise, you trying to say Keke slip was showing, as my grandmama would say.
A little bit. I mean, because black women are always pitted against one another, if that's a way to say it. It's like, in other words, the light skin you saw on School Days, where they, good and bad hair and light skin, dark skin, you saw and all the things they had to say, to try to, have us against each other. And, they happen to be the ones that they're using now, Zendaya and Keke. And I feel like Keke has done a whole lot of things, but so has Zendaya. So I mean, the black woman wins either way. But like you said, they trying to have them go against each other and
Right, because
debate.
using colorism, they ain't but a shade off one another anyway. So
They don't look like this colorism thing.
That is colorism. I mean, she is Zendaya could pass for white.
Really?
Yes.
and see, I only see a shade of difference. So.
I just see a shade of difference as well. I don't see the white. I mean,
it's sort of like my, like I said, I have 5 nieces and all my nieces are by white women. And my nieces are like, they don't know what to do. They don't know whether they're supposed to lean toward the black side or they're supposed to lean toward the white side. And so they get criticism on this side and criticism on that side. And, and it's a struggle. And so I feel like Zendaya probably is like, she struggles with the black side and the,
How old are your nieces?
Oh, how many? You said how many?
How old are they?
Oh.
Just give us the range.
One of them, the youngest is about.
Are they in their teens?
The youngest is about 8. No, it's about 10.
The range is, I think, 10 to almost 30.
10 to almost 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, she would be what she's really borderline in that what we call pass for white.
See, I don't see the pass for white part, and because I've listened to Zendaya, people say, "Well, I just see 2 fine black women." The other thing, I've listened to Zendaya speak in interviews and this, that, and the other, and she's fully aware that she's a black woman. She's not trying to pose or so I hate that Kiki took the bait. That's what I hate.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that she took the bait because that doesn't help any of us.
Facts.
And coming out of a great, successful weekend, no matter how you feel about the movie, whether you think it was great or suck, this is what everybody's talking about. They're not talking about the movie at all. They're talking about this.
You're taking away from the.
And this is stupid. I mean, it's not even worthy.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. Like, it's a dumb conversation. Debate. But to that point, because going back to Cuz's very well stated earlier point, we're perpetually the victim. So when you are perpetually the victim, you the opportunity to sing the victimizing song is like a Pavlovian dog bell. Every time you hear it, victim? Did you say I'm a victim? Yeah, you're right, because I've done this. And once again, you're trying to push a black woman down. No, nobody said they were pushing you down. The man, first of all, the tweet was relatively benign. It was only saying, what's the comparison of these 2 careers? It wasn't even saying one was greater than the other. But you took an offense to it and you ran with it because, again, we're always the victim.
Maybe I saw this wrong. I thought I saw this article, and it was, for some reason, they had Halle Berry in the in the article talking about in comparison to Halle Berry. I don't know what's going on. Some of these articles, these journalists are really tanking it. They are putting the face of someone else, and the article is not even about them. Somebody had an article about some rapper or whatever the other day, but it was a picture of Ashanti. I was like, okay, that's not even the person this article's about. So then they had Kiki and they had Halle Berry in a picture talking about why does Kiki feel like she's better than Halle Berry. And I'm like, was it about Halle Berry? I thought it was about Zendaya.
Yeah, no, this one was about Zendaya. I'm not. This is, I don't know, man. This is like I said, I hate that she did it. Cuz, what are your quick thoughts there, sir? Or not quick, but thoughts.
I don't have any on that one. I don't know.
Do you think she should have taken the bait of comparing or again, she didn't really down Zendaya.
Well,
but
technically, she did by saying there's no comparison. I'm much greater than she. I
Yeah.
had my own talk show. I was the youngest talk show ever, and I have over 100 film credits. Well, 65% of them were bloopers, but nevertheless,
right.
I'm just saying. So, in a roundabout way, she was kind of,
She shaded him.
poking her. Yeah.
Okay.
In our minds, most people have competition with other people. Sometimes that's healthy, sometimes that can be unhealthy. I can use your career as a measuring stick for what I want to be in life. I can take that into fatherhood, into marriage. I can use what I see others and say, you know what, you want to do that. So that can be good, but it can also be bad because you end up comparing.
Well, it's bad when you use it when you compare your successes and failures to also your inadequacies.
Well, yeah,
That's when it gets dangerous.
and that's a part of it
Yeah.
because you really do know you, even though you publicly won't say that, but you know you. So she was lashing out because of that, and I get it. She could have been a bigger person than that, but that's difficult for a lot of people to do. When your competition is in your face, it's difficult to take the high road.
And I get it because there's so many limited opportunities in Hollywood,
Right.
and I get all of the competitive nature of it all. I just think it's never a good look for us to attack us.
No.
Because we all we got.
CMB.
What'd you say, Mama Noise?
CMB.
Oh. All right. Let's talk about this next to last. I know because you probably didn't see it, but I'm sure Al saw it, and Mama Noise for sure saw it because we watched together. The first official trailer of Black Panther was released.
I saw it.
You saw it?
Wakanda Forever?
Wait a minute. You saw the trailer?
Yeah.
I must give that the appropriate response.
Oh my God!
I did
No woman, no cry.
crushed ice and I filled it all the way to the top with ice. Thank you.
That was okay. I am absolutely, first of all, clearly they are going for all the feels on this one. And rightfully so, because Chadwick, shout out to the late great Chadwick Boseman. He deserved whatever this film is going to emerge as. And I'm sure it just looks like the film is going to be completely and totally about the succession plan of who becomes the Black Panther, which is great. I'm here for it. But man, even in the trailer, I was like, ooh. Even the way they weave those songs together, I was like, ooh, this is gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot to sit in the theater and have to take that moment in.
You gonna cry, Mr. Noise?
I might, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. It could get dusty in there.
I've heard a lot of guys saying that they might cry.
For what?
Because I appreciate what Chadwick represented to us. Even beyond his Black Panther role, I appreciate what that that Black man represented to other Black men.
Facts.
I really
Man, what all he did during his sickness, still pressing forward to give everything he got, where we wouldn't even know that he was even sick.
I don't want to go to the cemetery to appreciate. I'd rather sit in the theater. What would you say, Al?
I ain't say nothing.
Oh, I thought you said so. Okay.
Uh-uh.
I know you hardcore, cuz you don't care.
Yeah, he said he don't care about it.
I care.
I'm not gonna cry no damn movie.
You ain't never cried at a movie ever in your life, except for The Notebook.
What? The Color Purple?
I cried when Elvis Presley died.
I'm ready to get off this podcast.
What'd you say? Hold on, I got it.
Lies.
Cry with Elvis Presley.
I did.
You cried because all the money that was stolen from black people.
I did. I'm telling you, I did.
Lies. Lies. Lies.
Elvis Presley. What'd you cry about? Because he was a hound dog?
What you crying about?
Because you didn't know nothing about banana and peanut butter sandwiches before until then.
They already trying to cancel you.
Yeah, so cuz.
They already starting a hashtag on you.
No, I don't give a damn. No, I cried when Elvis Presley died. I was 8 years old. And my mama saw me starting to tear up because it was breaking news. It was coverage. Dan Rather, all of them. I mean, everybody was talking about the king. He was dead. He died on the throne.
What, you thought he was Martin Luther King?
We died on the toilet.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got emotional about it until my mama, the Christian that she was, cussed me out.
Well, look at
Shout
that.
out to Mama.
You say, what the hell are you crying for? Your mama Elvis dead.
What you crying about?
No. My mom was not Jamaican. She was a big black woman from Mississippi.
No, that was from the movie.
Oh,
It's too late.
He
Never
don't be seeing movies, Al.
I mean, not the movie. It was from Eddie Murphy's Six.
Eddie Murphy, yeah, Raw.
Yeah.
Never mind. Go ahead.
I was with you, Al, the whole time.
Sorry.
With you.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't cry at movies. I don't cry over stories. Even though I like sappy love stories, I'm not going to cry about it.
Do you cry? You don't cry at the love? Okay.
No, what am I crying for? I'm doing a great job of acting. I'm going to sit up there and cry.
It's not about the movie. It's about the reality of who Chadwick Boseman was. That's the part that gets you emotional because of who he was and what he represented.
Who was
Not
it?
just he was a young black man who determined himself to go into Hollywood, which we all know is a strongly racist area of performance place. But yet we strive as black people to be a part of it. But he went and wrote the rules on his own terms, and he did not take every role that was offered to him. He did not succumb to every opportunity that was presented to him. He waited to craft his career on his own terms. He set a blueprint for the modern black actor, one that I think there are a few actors trying to follow, like a Michael B. Jordan, like I would say Daniel Kaluuya, like some others that are trying to follow that blueprint and saying, we're not going to allow you, like an Issa Rae, we're not going to allow you to tell us what roles we can be a part of. You know what's interesting? I'm gonna blow your mind with something. I was watching. I binge watched New York Undercover. I told y'all that.
Yes.
And that's who I saw in season 3 playing a thug, a full-on thug drug dealer. In season 3, Tay Diggs. Who you say, Al?
Jay Jordan.
No, he wouldn't play. There's nothing about Jay.
It was Jay's cousin.
It was Tay Diggs. I was like, wow, Tay Diggs played a drug dealer.
I can't even wrap my mind around
I
that.
couldn't. And listen, I watched it, and I still can't wrap my mind around it. He was a terrible drug dealer. But those were the roles that early on in his career that were available to him. Well, Chadwick said, I'm not doing that. So he came out the gate, and his first role was Jackie Robinson. He followed that up by playing who was the second role? It was I forget the succession of events, but he just didn't play a lot of.
Listen to me.
He just didn't play. He just didn't do that. He chose to follow, and he talks about it in the clip that I play at the beginning of the show. Sometime, if you're willing to take the road less traveled, the hard road, the non-conventional road, you can do stuff that has never been done.
Listen to me. The impact that this man has made.
Thank you, Anthony Bruce.
The impact of when he was in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Oh God, what a performance!
His argument with God. I mean, I don't know how you could keep without one tear trying to sneak out the corner of your eye, because I mean, it's like, man, he made valid point. I mean, it was so believable. And like Anthony Bruce said, all of these different. If you've seen Thurgood Marshall, if you've seen Jackie Robinson, if you see all of his works were so impactful. I knew of Thurgood Marshall, but I didn't know the whole story. And so to watch him play Thurgood Marshall was like, wow.
Even when he played the stereotypical sports guy, it wasn't stereo. He elevated that, and we were seeing a man in the midst of his brilliance emerge as something. I mean, to me, in my humble opinion, I think he was the successor to Denzel.
No question.
It was, and he just was. He was it,
mm-hmm.
and to see that come short like it did. It makes you feel away. It makes you feel away. So I would imagine my tears, if they were to be shed during this. I'm not saying I am. I don't know if I am until I see it. But if they are to be shed, they won't be shed for the Black Panther as much as they'll be shed for the actual man that is Chadwick Boseman and what I know he represented. So
I think the part also is that I have not seen now. I'm only 52 years old, so I've not been around that long. But I have.
Damn.
That was where the joke was, Mama Noise. I had to do it.
I need you to start questioning what the joke is.
Okay.
I have not seen a Black actor bring people to the movie theater like Chadwick Boseman did to Black Panther. There's not been anyone else that we've ran out and seen a movie 3 and 4 times in stereo and IMAX and surround.
So I'm gonna make a statement to your statement. It's gonna sound a little bit counter to everything we've just said here. I don't know if it was Chadwick Boseman that got us to the theater, because I'm not sure I saw Black Panther. Because you got to think about where we were in that moment. I don't know if I saw Black Panther solely because it was Chadwick Boseman. Because you remember when he was in Civil War, which is where I think he made his initial debut in the Marvel universe. We were like, oh wow, Chadwick Boseman's playing Black Panther. That's cool. But we weren't like blown away by the performance because we didn't know what the performance was in that moment. But man, once we got to the theater, I think that's what made. Now you might be different. I didn't necessarily go because it was Chadwick Boseman. I knew that Chadwick Boseman had great chops to maybe make that a great role.
Well, when I saw the trailer that was showing me and every Black person what it would look like if we had a country that was modern and had all of the bells and whistles, and we all on one accord, and we all working together as as a people, and all of that. It just seemed. I know that some people be like, "Well, that wasn't real," but listen to me, just to see that there were no drug dealers in this movie. There was no, it wasn't athletes. It wasn't, it wasn't all of the stereotypical things that Black people are. It was just.
And not only that, there were no financial punches pulled.
Hmm.
Like they didn't not spend on Black Panther the way they spent on other Marvel movies. It was on par, if not more expensive than some of the others.
Oh my
So
God!
I appreciate that they did a film primarily cast in the Black, pun intended, well, and it was led by an actor who played a role with honor and dignity. It was awesome. Or actors that played roles in honor and dignity. So
I don't disagree with what you guys said. Number one, I'm not a movie buff. I catch a movie here and there, and once I watch it, I'm pretty much done with it. Very few movies do I watch over and over again. Very few, but I do. And I did watch Black Panther at least 2 or 3 times. And I do think that it was a great movie, but it wasn't. We were not going to that movie because of Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
We were going there because of the movie and what it represented. I like how you guys are celebrating him and what he stood for and what he represented. But there are a whole lot of Black actresses and actors that stand for right, that don't take parts that are degrading or belittling to us. A lot of them do. But you have to a degree, and I'm not saying he was, but you have to a degree, you have to be financially able to do that. When the money come calling, and you got to feed your family, sometimes you got to take what you got to take.
Absolutely, and I understand both sides of it. It's a tricky thing,
right? But that's not necessarily a knock on the person. So I just find it a little interesting that we say that he was a great person because of the parts he took. I mean, I think that's great. Did he write those movies? Did he produce, co-produce? I mean, he was just an actor in those movies. Thurgood Marshall, James Brown, Black Panther.
Well, Black Panther, he was just an actor. I would say, did he produce those movies? That's an interesting question.
I don't know what credits he.
I'd have to check his IMDb. Y'all talk amongst yourself. I'll confirm or deny.
I mean, I think it's great that we're honoring him, but I think we can honor a lot more Blacks that are still alive.
I agree.
We can lift up more of us that are out there struggling to represent us and at the same time trying to make a paycheck. That ain't an easy thing to do in Hollywood. Yeah. It's just not.
Produced 21 Bridges, produced Marshall, produced Message from a King. So three of those movies, yes, he produced them.
Okay.
And during, I believe, the filming of Ma Rainey, he had already received his terminal diagnosis, right?
Yes.
Right.
Well, yeah. Well, he was aware. According to what I've read about it, he had got his diagnosis during Black Panther.
Right.
Or maybe even prior to Black Panther.
Before.
Yeah. So Civil War on, I think he was in his fight.
I mean, we have an actress right now that we could celebrate, just like a Chadwick. I mean, to a degree, I believe, and that's Shit here, it slipped my mind.
Bring it back to him, Lord. He's old.
Oh boy.
You know, I bet he's talking about How to Get Away with Murder. Viola Davis.
Viola?
No, the Tina Turner actress.
Oh, Angela Bassett.
There we go.
Oh yeah, I do celebrate her. I actually celebrate Angela along those same lines. And let me tell you something. It is not easy to walk in and out of those rooms and make those type of choices to not play certain roles. A lot of people don't know this. Some people know this. I believe the four of us know this. But she was offered Monsters Ball before Halle Berry. Matter of fact, she was their preference.
Well, thank God Halle took it.
And she
Glory. Now, that's something to get on your knees tonight and thank God for.
I'm not sure that's true.
I'm not wasting my time.
Got other things to talk to God about.
Right.
Okay.
No, sir.
Get on my knees and thank you, boy.
Well, she turned it down because of the very scene that Halle won an Oscar for.
She's like, look here. What I'm not going to
do is roll around on the floor with a white man with my titties out.
Dingy looking white man.
Right. I'm not going to do that. Y'all, there is no amount of money that's going to make me roll around on the floor with a white man.
When you go that far, Mr. Noise, you make it look like Halle Berry was a bad decision maker by taking the part, and that's not the case either.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
It's not the case.
We'll agree to disagree.
No,
I don't see the I don't see the impactfulness of that scene in that movie
at all.
No,
that whole movie would have been fine without that scene.
Dare I say,
one of the most memorable scenes, and a very successful movie.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, it was very successful. It won an Oscar.
It was successful in its post production of once the Oscar buzz started coming, then people started putting eyes on it, but nobody knew. I'm not even sure people knew that she did the movie prior to that.
Who hadn't seen it?
A lot of people hadn't seen it prior to the Oscar run. I'm telling you, I remember the history.
You know, you got issues, so
why do I want to see her naked tail?
Mama knows the movie is not about her and the naked tail.
Well, it's clearly about it. You were talking about get on my knees and thank the Lord.
It's kind of about that.
Mama knows I'm a man. I like ass. What do you want me to say? Damn.
I'd rather you not say that.
You know why you always come for us? We are men on this.
I'm gonna come for you each time. That I don't want to see it. And I'm a woman. I'm not supposed to say, "Oh yeah, look at what she got."
We like tits. We just do. We do. It's just the truth.
But to that point, because nothing else about that movie was good. Nothing. It's not a good movie, in my opinion. With all due respect to Billy Bob Thornton, who I actually like as an actor, it ain't a good movie. I mean, that movie drug on for about an hour and a half.
I disagree. I think it's like any other racist movie.
I expect you to say that since that's what you get. You got what you wanted to see. Halle Berry's naked tail.
It's just like Mississippi Burning.
I like racist movies. I do. Now that I do like.
That must be a cultural thing in Mississippi. Right?
I've watched them all. If you haven't watched them all, that's up to you. But I watched them all. Mississippi Burning, A Time to Kill.
Best thing out of Mississippi is that new girl country group. Have y'all seen them?
The black one?
The black one. I have not seen them, but I have heard, pray tell, that they tore AGT up the other day.
It's actually fairly old. It's several weeks old, but it just made its rounds.
Okay, I have not seen it. I gotta watch I've got it sitting in my queue right now on YouTube, so I want to watch it.
Where's Hart Chapel? Where's Hart Chapel, Mississippi?
I have no idea.
Hart Chapel, Mississippi.
That's where they from, and they named the group Chapel Hart.
That sounds like a pastor is the mayor and the sheriff all the same.
Well, it may very well be because she said the just of the town is all their family.
Wow.
Help us, Lord. Help us, Lord.
But y'all have to check that out if you hadn't seen it. It's their continuation, their part 2 of Dolly Parton's Jolene.
Of course.
They wrote a second
You say Hart
second
Chapel,
part.
Hart
Huh?
Chapel, Mississippi?
Hart Chapel, Mississippi.
I don't see that.
That sounds like something they made up.
Oh,
That's where they. When Simon asked them where they were from, that's where they said they was from. Maybe it's just HART and not HEART.
I got it. Oh, that's southern Mississippi. Way down there by New Orleans, going down 59 south, right before you get to Slidell, Louisiana.
Oh, okay.
Slidell. These are some of the country's names I've ever heard in my life. What does he say? Does Jay have to kill?
I
Do
mean,
you have to kill a Mockingbird shirt? That's what they're asking in the chat.
I love those racist movies.
Anthony Bruce, if you ain't busy tomorrow, we ought to have you on the show.
I love To Kill
Let me
a
know if you're busy
Mockingbird.
tomorrow.
One of my favorite novels.
I
I've read it like 5 or 6 times.
It's a classic.
Well, you know, they just recently took it off the curriculum.
Oh, because it doesn't fit the critical race theory?
Yeah, it provokes
Truth. I'm sorry.
undesirable emotions.
I cut my teeth on Roots. I watched Roots over and over and over and over.
Y'all talk amongst yourselves because you just reminded me of something that I was gonna save for Uncorked Wine, but we probably need to talk about it here. So y'all just talk amongst yourselves because I gotta show us this. I don't know how I forgot this. Thank you, Al. You just reminded me of something, my brother.
But yeah, them gals from Mississippi got me thinking about booking a trip to the Grand Ole Opry. I mean, that one song put on a show, man.
Make you want to hop a plane? What?
Well, no,
I've been to the Grand Ole Opry. It ain't all.
That's a drive for me, Mama Noise. That ain't a plane ride.
Oh, okay.
That's the one in Nashville, ain't it? Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a drive for me. We're going to be there September the 17th.
Don't drive, catch a flight. It's a quick up and down.
I ain't flying 3 hours.
It's not 3 hours from you.
Nashville?
It's a 3-hour flight from you?
No, it's a 3-hour drive.
I said flight, man.
Well, what I meant to say is I am not going to fly somewhere I can drive in 3 hours.
But you made it sound like the damn drive was too far. So I gave you an option to fly.
No. I was telling Mama Noise that's just a drive for me. Yeah, I can still make that. Anything less than 4 hours, I can still drive.
But then take your ass on. Why you say you can't drive it then? Go.
I didn't say.
Ooh, you so hostile today.
I didn't say I couldn't drive it. Mama Noise said, make you want to hop a flight. And I said, no, Mama Noise, that's just a drive for me.
I thought you were saying it was too far of a drive.
Oh my God.
That's not what he said. Let me go ahead and save the show by putting this up. I was gonna save this for Picnic or Pass on Saturday. This Saturday coming up, since we're gonna have Uncorked Wine this Saturday. But this is too good. This is just too good. This is a guy who's always gonna get one of the first reels, who's always gonna get one of the big pieces of chicken, Tom Hanks.
I read a New York Times piece on a 100-year-old survivor of the Tulsa Massacre.
Can you turn it up?
And my question was this.
I don't
What's
think
the Tulsa Massacre? How is it that it wasn't until 2 years ago that I heard about the Tulsa Massacre? How is that possible? I've heard about Custer's the Little Bighorn. I heard about the Alamo. I heard about the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire. I heard about all kinds of disasters in which people died. but I had never heard about this thing that happened in 1921, only 3 years before my dad was born. One of the most successful black communities in America, Black Wall Street, in which everybody was not only burned out of their homes and their businesses, but then driven out of the city limits by an angry mob of, I'm sorry, white people. How is it that this was not taught to me? Because I tell you, at the age of 10, when I was in 5th grade, living in Oakland, California, that would have been a moment of enlightenment for me. And it made me mad. It made me mad that somebody had somehow made an editorial process of what was appropriate for us to learn about our own American history. It made me angry. And it took me 54 years in order to find this out. It's not right. It's not right, and it's doing a disservice to all of America.
Come on, Tom.
I would get on board with you, Lloyd, but I can hear nothing he said.
You can hear him?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Al.
Must have been just my computer because nobody else said anything. But the volume was super, super, super low.
Could you hear Mama Noise?
Well, I've seen it before, so
I could hear
But it was low. Okay.
it was very low.
Well, I will try to revamp.
Jay said he heard it.
Listen, the man spoke eloquently.
Yeah.
And said, how is it that I'm just now hearing about Tulsa massacre and I'm this age? And it happened 3 years after my dad was born. I should have been done heard about this, but somebody made a decision for me in white America where I couldn't hear about this. They thought this wasn't necessary for me to hear. He said, this is a disservice to all Americans. I said, well, come on, Tom Hanks. Come on now. That's called using your platform the right way.
Right. You know, Hanky Panky always had a seat at the
Hanky Panky
wooden picnic table.
He in there, man. But I need more of those who say they are quote unquote on our side to do what he's doing. To use your platform and speak boldly like that and say this is just wrong. I need more people to do it, but I had to give him his propers. We may play that all week long. I may put that in rotation. I don't know.
Okay.
Shout out to Tom Hanks.
Who would have thought?
Agree.
Who would have thought?
The bosom buddy would speak so eloquently.
No, what's his name that was running around with the boy from Bubba Gump? Forrest Gump. Who would have thought? Forrest Gump.
McKelty Williamson?
No, I meant Forrest Gump. Who would have thought Forrest Gump would have that's how he really felt.
I mean, he been pretty consistent.
I mean, you know, Bubba was his best friend.
Yeah. Can I share something with y'all that we discovered in talking with our daughters the other night? It didn't dawn on me until we had the discussion with them. Did y'all realize that 90% of the Disney princesses are in single parent homes? And to be more specific, their mothers are dead? Were y'all aware of that?
Not till just now.
It didn't dawn on me either.
And, fathers
gone.
No, I mean the one didn't have a mother. Who was that? Poseidon was a daddy.
Little Mermaid.
Yeah,
her mama gone. You can go down the list. Little Mermaid mama gone. Snow White mama gone. Bambi mama gone. Cinderella mama gone. Raised by a stepmother. Princess Tiana. Now she had a mama. Her daddy was gone. I think she might be the one exception to the rule.
Yeah, but she was still single parent. Her mama
still single parent. Still in a single parent situation. But 90% of these chicks, their mamas was dead. And according to my kids who have done the deep dive, they said it was because Walt Disney's mom, His mom died or something like that. Is that right? Is that what they said?
Which one?
Walt Disney. Are you paying attention?
Absolutely.
Then answer the question.
That's what I said. Absolutely. That's what happened.
His mom died. Okay.
Yes.
So apparently he thought that was a thing that I guess needed to be in these storylines.
I mean,
my daughter just came in and confirmed it too. Thank you, baby.
Pocahontas, mama gone.
Gone.
I mean, listen.
The girl in Brave with the Irish mama gone.
Oh yeah, she got ate up in it. Well, she was in the movie, but she,
but she was something else or something. But mostly Mulan. I think her mama was gone, wasn't she?
Well, hell, Nemo.
No, Mulan's mama was there and her
Mulan's
dad.
mama was there. Okay.
Nemo's mama gone.
Nemo's mama gone. One of the parents is gone in most of these Disney films. Lion King, daddy dead.
Gone.
Somebody's parent is leaving in one. I didn't realize that Disney was traumatizing us with this parent thing until my kids brought it to my attention. I was like,
he needed counsel.
Why is he killing our parents left and right? Isn't that something?
Mr. Noise.
Yes, sir.
That's interesting that all their moms were gone. But back to Mr. What's his face? Forrest Gump.
Oh, we're going back to Tom Hanks because you've had time to think.
No, you rushed on off to the dead mamas. Huh?
I apologize. Let's go back to Tom Hanks for you, sir.
You might as well visit the cemetery with me since you care about their dead.
Oh my!
Oh my gosh!
This guy. We are not the same. Let's just be clear.
Mr. Tom Hanks spoke well of his anger towards whoever decided to do an editorial of America's history and drop off the Tulsa massacre. But white folks have no excuse. I'm sorry. You can't come and be appalled about Tulsa in 1921. There's enough shit that happened in America in 1930 and 1940 and 1960 for your white ass to be appalled about. So don't give him too much credit. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that he's not right. He has every right to be appalled about it and upset about it. But we know the evilness of this country and what they did to those Africans and their descendants.
Right.
The entirety of the history of this country, white folks chose to bury their noses and move on with their lives. And they're still doing it today.
But are we lumping him in with the rest?
Now listen now, I'm saying if you try to choose Tulsa as your one issue, there was enough happening after Tulsa. After you were born, Mr. Hanks, there was enough that was still happening that you should have still been appalled about. So I'm not saying he's not right. He is, in fact, he's 100% right. But you don't have to look for the evilness that was portrayed upon Black people in this country. You upset about Tulsa now because it seems to be the right thing to do all of a sudden? Come on.
You think that's why he's speaking out, because it's popular?
Listen. If you really care, I'm not saying he doesn't, but I'm saying why he pays in general. If you really care, then you have a whole catalog of shit that you could be pissed off about. But you've chosen to bury your noses and move on with your lives.
Well, maybe this is his beginning. Wow. That escalated quickly. I ain't gonna hold you.
But what I'm telling you is the truth. They know. They just choose to move on. We all know.
Do you think Al? Do you agree with Cuz on this?
No, I think I don't know. You can actually see both sides.
Well, you just said you didn't agree. Now, come on.
I'm thinking, old man.
He's thinking. Give him a chance to think.
I'm trying to sift through your manure and pick out the nutrients.
I put the shit out there.
Right. So I'm trying to see what's good to make the flowers grow right now. Give me a second.
You cannot be appalled about them whitewashing the history of Tulsa. America has whitewashed its entire history. And they're still doing it.
But I think, seeing that this article was actually a year ago, or that story is actually
right.
from a year ago, but he stood in our favor when it came to Black Lives Matter.
Right.
I don't think he's on.
I don't disagree.
So I'm not sure. I would have to go into the membership of NAACP. I'm not sure that he's not a member of NAACP. He could be very well one of the Caucasoid individuals that stand with what's his name, Bernie Sanders. He stood with us in the 60s and 70s. So
I'm not disagreeing, but my point is, this is not a one-off. Even though Tulsa was a very salacious issue that's now popularized because of what happened there to those blacks, but we've been discussing. We started off there. We talked about roots. We know the history of this country, and we know the harm that was done to Black people in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking up now about Tulsa a year ago, or however long ago it was, to me, it's just a little late, because it's going on, and we know it goes on.
But hearing you say that makes me go, okay, so are racists never allowed to reform?
I'm not saying he's not a good guy. I'm not saying he's not on the right side. I'm
not calling him racist. I'm just saying in general. Right.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm simply saying Wahites in general they buried their heads. So you were lifting him up and to say, here we got this great Wahite, white guy, on our side. Well, the reality is they all should be, is my point.
Oh, right. So I agree with you.
It's
in
all
general, yes.
It's all out there.
Right.
So you can't come along and pretend that I thought America was a great country, and now all of a sudden I'm learning that 1921 we did this to Black people. What?
But see,
I didn't get that from that.
You're putting a false narrative on Tom Hanks again, and you're losing me again.
Yeah.
Because we don't know that to be the case. That this was the only issue that he stood for. We don't know that is the case with Tom Hanks.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm not saying that Tom Hanks is the problem. I'm saying white people in general that have buried their noses,
right,
in the same, and ignored what was going on. Now many will speak up and say, I didn't know Tulsa was going. I didn't know cops was killing Black people. I didn't know that actually bullshit.
Yeah, but I didn't. I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't get that from that statement at all.
I didn't get that from that statement. I'm saying a conversation needs to be had. That too many have buried their noses. They know what has happened.
But couldn't he be in that moment calling that out, like what you're saying? Like maybe in his own way, he's saying,
discounting what he's saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying I think there's an element of y'all need to stop the bullshit that I took from his statement.
Okay, well keep going because there's a whole lot more bullshit.
Well, maybe he will. I don't know. That's the real question. Okay. Maybe he will keep going and be like, this has got to stop. We've got to do a better job than this. Surely we're better than this.
Telling the truth about the history.
Right.
But now here you say that was a year old. Now here we are having an issue with here in Texas and all over the country of telling the truth in the classrooms. They're once again trying to whitewash history. They don't want to teach history because they don't want to make the young white kids feel bad about their ancestors.
Right.
Same difference, in my opinion.
Can I ask a question to what you just said to all of you? When you heard slavery in school, how did it make you feel?
It definitely didn't make me feel bad. It gave me a push that those people suffered and they wanted more and they couldn't do more. And now that we have opportunities that they didn't have, why would I throw it away?
That's how it made me feel.
Right.
So I don't know. Al, Mama Noise, what are your thoughts on that?
When I heard slavery, I thought, man, once upon a time, long ago, is when I heard slavery. It's like, oh, that was so far, even my first exposure to civil rights, I thought, oh, that was so long ago. And the reality is it was just a mere 6-7 years prior to my birth. But, when I first heard, the term slavery, I just thought, way back when, a time way back when.
Mama Noise? Did it make you feel bad? Did any of it make you feel bad? Like,
I mean, watching Roots made me feel, oh my gosh. It did make me feel bad. I was overwhelmed that the people weren't doing things that merited the type of treatment that we were receiving. Somebody trying to read a book, the punishment for that. Somebody trying to get away, the punishment for that. It was like, this is
did it make you feel less than white people?
For some reason, I always felt less than white people.
Oh, wow. Really?
We out, like, my mom was like trying to get us out of the hood and moved us to the suburbs. Well, we was outnumbered. So it's like, and you told, don't do this, don't do that, don't be acting out, don't say nothing to them people, don't, and it's like, okay, well, you just supposed to act like you're not there because you don't want me to say nothing. Don't embarrass me, and y'all act like I got some sense, and don't be talking that kind of way. Make sure you talk like you got some sense. It's almost like we were talked out of being black.
She just told the truth of most black people. She just said it out loud.
Wow. That's powerful what you just said, Mama. It really is.
I mean, you just act like, it's basically, don't act like you're black. Act like you're white. Just don't cause no trouble. Don't make no ripples. Hey.
That was not my
testimony. Mama Noise, I don't think that's possible.
Say what now?
Golly gee heck, I don't think that's possible.
Golly gee heck. That was the PG version of shit hell.
Yeah, okay.
Wow, that is not my testimony. My grandfather and my grandmother, I don't think they was having that.
Having what?
Not going into any environment fully aware of who you were as a black person. I was always fully aware of my blackness. Always. There was never a time in my growing up that I was not fully aware of the pride of my blackness, of the journey that we overcome. My grandmother used to play. We for a long time. It's probably still in this somewhere, either in the garage or in the house somewhere. But we had the Martin Luther King albums that we would listen to from time to time of him. I had the Detroit speech. I had the March on Washington speech. We had all those speeches on 33s, and we would listen to them from time to time, just to remind. It was almost like a reminder. I mean, I always grew up with an Ebony and Jet in the house. I always grew up hearing Black History Month was a huge thing in my house. Like it was a huge thing, and I was mandated to learn it, to understand it, to appreciate it. I never not knew who I was.
So you was black and you was proud.
Black and super proud.
So black and proud, but you knew your place.
No, I disagree with that.
We all did.
Well, I'm the reason why I say I disagree with that is because even at a young age, my grandmother would tell me, if someone were to say something to you, you let me know. So it wasn't a thing of knowing your place. She was always aware of the racism that existed, and she said if something were to occur, if you felt uncomfortable in some way, let her know. And a couple of times I did let her know. Like even my mom would say that. We had a situation when I was in the 5th grade where I was performing at a pretty high level, and she felt like the teacher was not recognizing it the way it should have been, though she was recognizing other students. So she called her out on it on our open house. I'll never forget that. My mom called her out. Was like, my child is pretty smart. It feels like you're not recognizing that for whatever reason. And once she called her out, we never had any problems out of that teacher. So I don't know. I just was always aware of it, man.
I think that's
the church snatched it away from me.
To me, I think that's missing the point. I think we were all aware of our blackness. I think we were all proud as black people, as much as we could be.
But I didn't get that from what Mama Noise said. Mama Noise, were you proud? Were you a proud black child? Or were you a aware and cautious black child?
I think I was aware and cautious, even though my mom was, a part of the civil rights movement, and and y'all know the history in my family of Rosa Parks being in our family tree and all of that. However, like Jay said, you know your place now. Now when you downtown in the hood, you in the metro area, whatever, yeah, you can be black there.
I think we all knew our places. I think it was impossible at that time of history to not. I think those lines are a little bit clearer now. But back then, the lines were as clear as I am ugly. There was a white side of town and there was a black side of town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
There were white places and there were black places.
Mm-hmm.
You knew where your black ass was supposed to be and where you weren't supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you talk about that, then yes, I can definitely agree with that. Okay. Yeah, and I would even say, as I got older, for sure, especially when we moved to Kentucky, I was fully aware. Now I'll say this: when I was in Arkansas, I was probably a lot bolder on whatever side I was in than I was when I got to Kentucky. Now, when I got to Kentucky, the levels of racism changed. I'm not sure I experienced too much racism in Arkansas, but in Kentucky, I was fully aware.
Because wasn't about out there in the woods but y'all. The trees ain't gonna fuck with you.
What the?
No, that's not true. I know you tried to Mississippi-ize that.
I'm telling you the truth.
But I don't know why you would say that to me.
Trees.
I don't know why you would have said that about
You
Arkansas.
to the city.
But there's a little truth to what he's saying. In the area you were in Arkansas, it wasn't as diverse
Populated
like it was, population wise when you came to
No.
Kentucky.
Right.
Yeah, right. Low key, Pine Bluff is a really black city. It's blacker than people think it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Years.
Absolutely. That is very true. As a matter of fact, a funny story. I got my first week, Al, when I moved to Louisville, was right around the time of homecoming for University of Louisville. And my mom told me, hey, they got homecoming at University of Louisville. And I got excited because I'm thinking it's gonna be like UAPB. So I'm gonna go to the parade and see the bands play. I was a little tight, I think I was 6 or 7. I'm thinking, man, this is gonna be exciting. Get to go see the parade. Oh no, baby, ain't no parade. I said, well, what about the bands? Ain't no bands. What the hell kind of homecoming is this? If ain't no bands, there ain't no parade. What are we talking about right now?
You got a step show. That was about it.
We didn't even go to the step show.
A step show and an after party.
Right. So, you find out real quick that there was a very big difference between Kentucky and Arkansas.
Why did you guys go to HBCUs?
Why didn't we?
Why did you?
I didn't.
I thought you guys went to HBCUs.
No. To Morehead State University.
Yeah, we went to PWI. I can answer that for you. I didn't because I had spent my entire life around HBCUs.
Oh.
And my mentor told me, he said, and I don't think he was wrong. He said, Lloyd, you know that experience. You've lived that experience as a child on up. He said, you need to understand how the other side of the world works. He said, if you're going to make it and survive in this world. And he was right. He was absolutely right.
I think in retrospect, I would have been more successful as a student had I gone to K-State as opposed to Morehead.
Really?
I think the fact that I was undisciplined as far as studying and being self-motivated and so on and so forth kind of hindered my progress at Morehead State. So
really, wow. I'm this years old here listening to you say that.
It's important when you're in college to find someone that genuinely cares for you and your success in college.
Right.
And in Morehead, we had maybe 3. We had Peggy Overly, Jerry Gore, for a time, Lisa Kelly.
Yeah.
I mean, there were older students like Kendrick and Carlos.
Right.
That wanted all the black students to succeed, but it wasn't like a whole slew of people like you would find at a HBCU.
That would hold you accountable. That would check up on you all the time. We didn't have that. You had to find which by the way was also reflected in who finished and who didn't, because I think it was difficult in that environment, which was blatantly racist, to find consistently across the board black students who could find that center of motivation and push through and those type of things. So I agree with you on that, Al. I just have never heard you say it out loud. It's interesting that you said that out loud.
I didn't go to a HBCU because I knew I did not have the discipline, and I knew it was just going to be like Chocolate City.
Did you think all HBCUs were like K-State?
I've never been to K-State.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Wow. So what did you think HBCUs were like then? You just thought it was all partying?
School days?
Yeah.
Like school days?
Oh, well, I didn't see school days until I was already going to Western Kentucky, but I was just like, I wanted to be away from home, but I didn't want to be too far away from home. But, and I felt like Western was just about far enough. So if I need to get back home for any reason, it wouldn't be too hard to do. But I did think that HBCUs was just, it was just, I don't know if I thought any educating was going on. I just felt like it was going to be a big old party.
Oh wow, you got white.
Did either one of you feel that the white institutions were better?
No, I never thought that. Never thought that.
Well, I had some friends that was talking about Fisk University and how they was like their dorms was like projects and stuff, and I was like, okay, well, I ain't trying to go to a black college. Is a black colleges ain't got no money? You know, I'm thinking, is that the reason why they dorms was like projects? And
you're not talking about better as far as facility. You're talking about better like academically, or are you talking about both?
No, just better schools that they were
okay.
Schools than the HBCUs.
I never thought that.
That if you were going to the HBCU, you were settling versus trying to excel.
The only reason I ended up at Morehead State University is because I had this foolish desire that I wanted to be a teacher. And at the time, rumor had it that Morehead State was the creme de la creme for educators in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up at Morehead State University.
Yeah, I never thought that HBCU education was subpar. Though I was aware that some of the HBCU facilities were subpar. I was aware of that. Like I had gone to Fisk and toured and was like, my God, this is just inhumane the way y'all treating these people. But Tennessee State was nice. Some of the other ones were nice. I mean, FAMU was nice. Alabama A&M was nice, historic in nature. But the facilities were not the same. You were aware that they weren't the same. But I never thought the academia was subpar at all. But again, I had been around it my whole life, so I was aware of what it was. So I just wanted something different. Cuz is doing something, so oh God, we run out of time.
Right.
Well, since Cuz disappeared, we're gonna hasten this sermon to a close. Tomorrow, man, we're gonna get into a really good conversation, y'all. That was inspired by the day. And basically our talk that Tuesday will be about who do we follow? And should we follow anyone? Is anybody worthy to be followed? If and should we be looking for a savior type anymore? Was that a flawed strategy from the beginning? So we'll get into that tomorrow on Talk That Tuesday. So yeah, it's been a good show, man. I enjoyed this show tremendously. Shout out to Ron, who I know is having a wonderful time in the Texas heat. Stay cool, Ron. Don't let that Texas heat get you, brother. Don't let that Texas heat get you. And then again, just for those who didn't come in early, but Unc is doing better. He is recovering nicely, but let's continue to pray for him because he is still recovering. It's not that he's out of the woods yet. He's got a journey, it's a journey. So we're gonna continue to pray for him and pray for his strength. So with that being said, we appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank y'all for pulling up. And we will be back to do it all over again tomorrow on the morrows. Love each and every one of y'all. Have a great evening. Peace.
Hey. Talking